If you're familiar in the UK with 8 out of 10 cats does countdown, this is our interpretation of that merger.
This is absolutely on the fly. Iffat and myself, after the influence
What
of
if
Brexit.
all things?
What if all things? I love it. I love it.
Here's the show that loves to talk about gadgets and gizmos, from A-Logic to Yamaha, cameras to control panels. You get what I mean. We love talking all things techie. In fact, that's the name of the show. And here is your host, Justin
Forget,
Dawson.
we have to register the domain name later on. Iffat joins. Iffat, introduce yourself.
So, I'm probably best known for speaking up about all things.
EDI.
Yeah, I was going to say all things equitable.
I like it. Okay, that's a big word for 10 o'clock on a Wednesday morning at ISE. Break down that word for everyone.
So it might be 10 o'clock, but I feel like I've already done a day's work. We've already done a few. We've done a LinkedIn Live. We've done a few things this morning already. The sun's shining, so that helps.
Yes.
Equitable, for me, I think my dream environment or my utopia for our industry would be that everybody feels that they are on a level plane. So they have the same opportunities and the same chance of doing and excelling, actually, not just doing their jobs, but excelling at their jobs. Because the environment is right, because they've got the tools they need to do their jobs, and fulfill and exceed their own expectations. That's my utopia and my.
That's a
if I had a big wish for the industry.
Well described, and of course, so Iffat does a lot of that in the audiovisual world and realm, and here we are at ISE, and for the second day, the Wednesday, I'm Justin Dawson. If you don't know me by now, I have appeared on a couple of What Ifs with Iffat, and you have seen us in previous episodes of the All Things Techie podcast, talking all things techie and trying to keep my voice. And here we are on Wednesday at ISE, the busiest day, as we know, Iffat,
It really is.
to ISE.
It's a long day.
Yeah, it's a long day. Will we break record numbers? I heard so far there's like 80,000 registered. I believe they will break the record again.
Yeah, and I think you can just tell there was a steady buzz yesterday when the show floor opened, and it takes a bit of time for people to get past Hall 2 and kind of start edging into Hall 3.
Well, not only that, Hall 1 has completely changed this year.
Really has changed, yeah.
Yeah, like last year it was like staging and live events and lights and big bass drums, speakers. But, you know, for me, now, no offence to anyone, like once I see one stage rigging, I've seen 1,000 stage riggings. It didn't interest me. And it didn't interest me, so I sort of walked past Hall 1 this year. This year, everyone's getting locked into Hall 1 because it's multi-technology.
Exactly,
there.
yeah. And it's, I think the layout of the halls, it's really interesting because that label of multi-tech has spilt over. So you've got 3 halls of multi-tech.
Of course.
So...
and, of course, let's tell our listeners that, like, we are down the opposite end of the Fira in this huge, it keeps on growing, huge complex that you can have the north access, which was where we are now. We did promise our listeners and viewers that we are going to get compasses at some stage with our logos on the back of it as flag. Yeah, because you do get lost in the Fira. No matter how many times you've been to ISE, you will get lost. Yeah. So we're on the opposite end. So if you come in the main entrance, you have a good 15-minute walk, even with the travelators.
Yeah, it's a solid 15-minute walk. But it's quite a peaceful walk.
It is a peaceful walk. It's lovely down here.
Straight in and up the escalator, you are skipping over the halls. And actually, I would urge anybody, when you get here, do that first. Because when you're up there and you have a bird's eye view...
You can see over. Yeah.
You can see the stands that you want to go to because everyone's signage is really good. So, but you've got that high level. It's almost like drone vision. But you can get your bearings and you can see, right, I've got to get to so-and-so and... And actually from there are multiple escalators going down. So you can just crossover and down. I think that's really important for our neurodiverse colleagues as well.
Very true, very true. Like,
I've got to say, it's overwhelming. Some of the halls.
It is overwhelming.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, like the normal place where I always find everyone converges is hall 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Where you have the LG, where you have the Epson, where you have the Samsung, always in that same square.
They stop at that wall.
Stop at that wall. And look, yesterday, I know it's the first day, but it didn't seem as busy. Like, it's not.
Yeah, I caught it a couple of times.
The lights aren't in your face as much because
No.
the Epson, I think it is, the Globe.
Yeah.
It's in.
It's tucked in.
It's tucked in.
Yeah.
Yes, and a great place. Like, if you are visiting RC, and again, going to be loads of clips of this. It's mirrored.
Yeah.
And it's one projector.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It is very well done.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think, and I'm skipping forward to the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how I'm going to give this feedback. How was your experience leaving the show last night? I left the floor about 6 p.m.
I left at 6 p.m. It was busy outside with taxis, but you have to, again, top tip, and I'm going to ruin it for everyone, and then this is never going to work out anymore at ISE. You walk away from the Fira a couple of blocks, and you will pick up a taxi. You will sit in the taxi for an hour, though.
Yeah, I mean, the traffic is insane. However, as we were approaching the exit, and obviously there's a live DJ playing, what was your take on that volume?
It is
Because
loud.
it messed with my head.
It is loud, yeah. But
and
it's more of a get out now.
Oh God!
Loud.
But the thing is, you can't move, and it actually, it was almost hurt. I'm going to say, actually, it was hurting my ears, because you've had so much content all day. What you do not need is a full-on rave.
Yes.
As you're trying to get out.
Yeah.
What you need is something a bit calming, a bit soothing to get you out, because you've still got the evening to.
Do you know what? They could
navigate,
easily put those speakers outside. And
They
have
were
a bit
outside
of a,
as well.
Oh yeah, they could have a
They
rave
were
outside.
way too loud.
Now, on a positive.
I'm getting old.
Yes, we are both getting
Apparently,
old.
yeah. We need to encourage younger people. So maybe that's what they're doing.
And that's what they probably are doing. And I'm going to come back to that. But on a positive note, like, it was addressed on AV Magazine and a couple of other publications, the police around not only the Fira but the city. Like, every corner of the Fira, I've seen police cars these past 2 days. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but down beside reception, as you come in on the main entrance, it looks like they have an actual temporary police station set up. It looked like that beside the clubrooms.
They definitely had that last year.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's not.
But there's definitely a lot more police presence, which is comforting.
Yeah, and actually around the Fira, it's always been quite good. So there's always been security around the Fira. Do you know what? Things are still going to happen, because when you've got that volume of people, something will happen. So you can't eliminate it, but what we can do is also take a bit of responsibility ourselves. And obviously I had an altercation last year. That was not pleasant, but it's made me so much more aware. And by sharing that information...
Just be aware,
just common sense. Don't be on your own. Don't travel.
Don't walk around with your badge.
Oh, I am guilty of that.
Yeah, I've done that last night. But now let's go back to one thing that you said there about loudness and speakers and young people and Equitable. Like, the nice thing is we're trying to bring younger people in for the first time, and you've done a lot of this through the years, both with your talks that you've given on the Avixa stage and places. You know, what advice do you give to the person that's just after arriving for the first time at ISE? Where to go, what to see?
I think do your homework.
Yeah.
The app is... I mean, I love the way they develop the app every year. The app this year is phenomenal. There is so much information on there to help you plan your visit. You can work out, the floor plan is there, work out your routes. Don't be zigzagging unless you really want to get your steps in.
You can easily get turned.
Because that's just dead time, right? For me, it's plan. You're going to have a a day where you're going to cover halls 2 and 3, or 2, 3, and 5 maybe, or whatever your wherever your interest takes you. But also work out where you're going to be able to take breaks. Now, there are amazing, in between the halls, there are amazing spaces where you can get fresh air if you come upstairs.
This upstairs is beautiful for taking a break.
Yeah, just if you need to get away, if it's too noisy, if you're not feeling well. In fact, if you're really not feeling well, there is medical assistance as well. But also, where are you going to eat and where are you going to keep hydrated? You've got to keep, in this kind of environment where you're in a shell, keeping hydrated to stop those tired legs. It's so important. But just knowing where your hydration points are and where you can get food. The queues actually are not.
They're not bad.
They're not that bad.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot more. There's so many more food trucks now.
Yes, yeah.
There's so much choice.
And the spaces in between the halls, for the outdoor stage or outdoor live events and music there. Like, it's not overpowering. You can go out. You can have a bite to eat outside, and
get some fresh air. And the weather's been kind. I mean, when I landed, it was torrential rain, and I did stop and think, oh, great. Is this going to be all week? But actually, the sun's been out. Sun is shining on the righteous.
Now, apart from your talks that you're giving at different stages, is there anything that you're really looking for? Well, first of all, any workshops that you're really looking forward to hearing? And you did a great one yesterday in your interview with like how to get involved in the book that's just out.
Do you know what? I am really excited about the book and the work that Denise has done. And there are just so many great people around who just want our industry to get better. And so many people who are volunteering their time to help younger people, to speak about their jobs, their experiences, but also to offer mentoring and support. And generally most people are, if you ask, but you put your hand up.
Yeah, like there's so many different places at ISE that you can attach into, whether it be Avixa and doing your CTS and learning about the courses there, whether it be HETMA and they have a booth there on Congress Square if you're involved in higher ed. To CEDIA have their booth and places to go, but there is loads of places where you can just sit and chill.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is it's not all in one hall, it's all spread out, so you will find an area to just relax and take it easy. I have to do a shout out to some of the ones like the Midwich, like they will welcome anyone in with a coffee and a bite to eat, and and it's nice.
And it's and actually there are so many, but I think planning your two things: plan, but also buddy up with somebody if you can. Don't be alone. There are so many people that will reach out. Me and Justin will offer our services. We're pretty good tour guides. But even if we can't look after you ourselves, we'll know somebody who can, right? So.
And as you mentioned, the app, like now they've got the stage of going, if you turn on your location settings on your phone, they will actually bring you to the hall that you need to be. And the booth that you're supposed to be in. Yeah.
And it's just... no one should be feeling isolated on their own in this environment at all, where you've got sort of over 70,000 people. It can be overwhelming, but there's always someone who'll help. Now,
what are you looking for technology-wise? What are you looking forward to? Is there anything that you're really aiming to see?
Do you know, my week has been packed out, so I'm leaving it to probably Friday.
To do the full...
I am the Friday nerd, I'll do the walk around then. I really want to go and spend some time on Epson's stand as well and see what they're doing. But a couple of partners that I've already been to see. I've got some exciting things going on, some truly translucent screens, which is really exciting.
There is some I liked Lang having on that square that I was telling you about at 3 and 4. Lang has done a little waterfall effect. It's very gentle. Like, do you know what I think? It's like I said, it's calming. It's not that whole square and everyone on that corner. It's not overpowering this year. So Lang being there with that waterfall effect and, as you say, transparent, like you can see right through on the other side. It's incredible.
And the screen that I saw on Element One stand, some things will filter through, but in terms of content, it's just so clever that if I'm looking at the screen, I can see it, but other people won't be able to see it the other way. You know, it's really clever.
It's becoming cheaper. It's becoming thinner. It's really like I'm like you today, because I'm not here for the whole week. Unfortunately, I'm going to try and see a lot of different things. I want to see the broadcasting workshop. I want to see the drone end of things and see how things have developed. Because we're up here, we might as well walk by that booth. There's some good talks.
There's some really good demo rooms.
Of course, the units have their higher ed talks today as well, so that's I have to pop in and say hello there.
There's just so much going on, so many people doing really brilliant things. And the nice thing is there's more content being recorded, so even if you can't get round to everything, you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to access it.
Yeah, that's the most important thing as well. So party-wise, you didn't hit hard last night, no?
I'm
Iffat's
showing my
getting
age.
old. Yes.
I got another birthday around the corner, so maybe not.
Of course, Sure is celebrating their 100th years tonight.
Yes,
and they're
we'll
having
be
a party.
there. Yeah, we'll be there.
Peerless, as always, have their party till early hours in the morning.
We will be representing.
Well, I was at X2O last night, and Freddie Mercury walking around doing some songs last night.
Wow.
It was fantastic. Well done to X2O for doing a great party last night.
That's an achievement.
But it became
a long time dead.
It became very AV Brit when he took out his British flag I was like, okay, yes, but no, it's a good night. And then, as per usual, we arrived back at the Irish Bar, which is an Irish bar. That's not playing Irish music.
Yeah, the Irish bars. There are so many Irish bars in Barcelona. It's become a bit of a funny thing. Put a leprechaun in the front and call it an Irish bar.
Yes.
It's but it's nice to see so many people out. It's everybody's smiling.
It's people that you haven't seen in a while, and that's an important thing. That we come over to ISE, and this is my ending thought. We come over to ISE, we shouldn't just be holding on to one event a year to see people. Follow up on your connections afterwards, and keep. I know everyone gets exhausted and burnt out after ISE, but it's the importance of keeping up those connections and keeping in contact with people, and
you know what, you learn so much from each other as well. It's so exciting to hear what other people are doing and what they have, what they've achieved in the past year, and it just, Denise from last IC to this has published a book.
Yes, absolutely.
Right, so there's so much.
And of course, we will wait in anticipation to see the AV Nation Awards, Reader's Choice Awards. Yeah. Have you any guesses? Have you any hopes for AV Professional? Have you been watching that? Brittany's in there.
It's between Britt and George, and I love them both.
I know. Yeah.
I really, really, can't we for once have a joint? It was Chris and I last year.
I know. And that was not fair. That was not fair.
We had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah. We'd still know that you're secretly an AV professional, dear. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. But between those two, come on, AV Nation, come on, Tim. Let's have a joint winner this year. Yeah. Yeah,
let's give them.
We should have had a joint winner last year. I think Chris honestly would have handed over that award.
Chris knows who's in charge, right?
It's just like I know who's in charge of this podcast and who keeps me up to date on things.
So it's all good. It's a bit of fun. None of us take ourselves that seriously. If
apart
people
from me,
think we do,
I like to tease Joe Way that I won before him. Yeah.
That wouldn't go down very well.
Oh, I tell him. I tell him all the time, Joe. I won mine before you. Yes.
Yeah. Joe Kardashian. Is that who you're talking about?
I didn't say that, Joe. I didn't say that.
I've called him that for years.
Okay, we better wrap this up. Iffat, great talking to you. Where do people find you? Where do they get in contact with you? Are you on the socials?
I'm on Blue Sky, actually. I keep forgetting that I've joined the blue side.
Did you leave X?
I haven't closed my account, so they are still there and live, but it just, as a platform, doesn't serve. Like if I've got to go searching for my connections and what they're posting or whatever, it's just, I feel bombarded with all the filters.
Even with all the filters, and I don't have a pro account, it feels like I'm just bombarded with advertisements and stuff that like I'm not interested in.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of...
Facebook is the same, though.
How many potato peelers do you really need? You know, it's like...
I just want to know what you...
Hold
on. We said we were going to wrap up this programme, then Iffat brings up something about potato peelers. What? So, like, the internet works on cookies and what you have been looking up. So are you looking up potato peelers?
Fancy kitchen utensils, scissors that have your kitchen scissors that have 16 blades, so you can.
We're learning a
chop.
new thing about Iffat of she likes her cooking.
I like cooking.
Yeah. So I do you know what? A good test on AI now.
And eating, clearly.
The fact that we're talking about this now, will I go out after this podcast and, because my phone has been listening to me, am I going to see all these adverts on potato peelers on my X feed?
And it's if you've got to go through all of that to get to the content,
of course,
none of us have got the time.
No.
So I've kind of snoozed.
So you're on Blue Sky, you're on LinkedIn, you're on LinkedIn. And where will people find your podcast?
YouTube. I had a wonderful conversation yesterday, very lucky to record with Denise Hughes about the book. So if you're interested in finding out more about that and her journey with it, I posted the link on LinkedIn this morning, so you can see the whole recording there, and it will feel like you were here.
Indeed. And if you want to find the All Things Techie podcast, we're on a lot of different socials. I nearly joined TikTok. And I didn't fall down that hole. LinkedIn, on the web, www.allthingstech.ie. This has been an episode of the What If All Things. What did we call it? All Things What If? What all
What
things?
If All Things?
Yes, I like it.
Yeah.
Once and once only. And that's it. For me, Justin Dawson and Iffat, thank you for listening and thank you for viewing.
Thank you.
And we'll see you soon.
Thank you for tuning in to All Things Techie podcast, part of the Extreme Media Network. Follow us on Twitter at AV Tech Junkies. Subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also watch our show on YouTube by visiting youtube.com/@Justin_or_Dawson. Previous episodes of our show can be found on our official site, www.allthingstech.ie. For advertising and sponsorship opportunities, please visit www.extrememedia.ie.